What up, YouTube? It's your girl, the Hip-Hop Snob, aka Afro Pick, aka it's me. What's up? I was just talking to my good friend Megan, and she pointed out the fact that there is this unspoken battle between new school rappers and old school rappers, and I would even venture to say that there's more of a battle between old school audiences like myself and new school audiences. I think that the new school audiences are sort of driving the new school rappers to put out certain singles and to be a certain way and to perform a certain way. There's a lot of what I call looking rappers out there today. And what I mean by looking rappers is rappers that just are good to look at, are pretty to look at. Like they have the whole S word going for them, the swag, and they put all of their energy into that, into being blinged out and dressing the part and looking the part and acting the part, and their music is like below par. You know what I mean? But they look the part and they're turned up. Their producers are the bomb, so they have like really good music, like instrumentals, but new school audience, let me tell y'all, there used to be this thing called a record store, right? We called it a record store, but it didn't necessarily sell records. They sold CDs, cassette tapes, and maybe a few records, right? DVDs, headphones. There were places like Sam Goody, mom and pop shops that old school audiences would go to buy their music, right? And when you went there was a whole section of the store dedicated to singles. You can buy a maxi single. If you didn't want to buy the whole album, you can just buy a single of the song that you wanted, and it would have maybe 2 or 3 other songs on there, for like $5.99, as opposed to paying the whole $14.99 for the whole album. And when you bought that single, on one side of it, if it was a tape, or on one part of it, if it was a CD, it would have the instrumental track of the single that you were buying. So if you want to hear the instrumental, you can just buy the maxi single and not spend $14.99 on the album, right? If that's all you wanted to hear was the beat, right? And so they did that for us old school hip hop listeners, right? And so I don't know if they still do that or not, because even I myself haven't bought a CD at the store and I don't know when. I download music offline, and really the only music that I really buy is like, classical music, classic hip hop, classic jazz, classic R&B, classic gospel, classic country, and so I don't really listen to anything that isn't like classic. So even if it's an instant classic, it's still a classic. Like I was saying in my gunplay video, I think Drop the Tent is an instant classic. I love that song, for a whole lot of reasons that you can play back the gunplay video if you want to know why. But I wanted to talk about inspiration versus imitation, because it's important for the new school audiences to know that they are the ones that are driving the new school rappers to do certain things. Because the new school rappers, they're not necessarily artists in the sense that they're just going to do what their artist essence dictates for them to do. No, they're going to do what their fans dictate, because their main objective isn't really to put out art, is to make money and to be famous. Like, famous. Literally, that's what they want, is to be rich and famous. I think it was Medium Sean who put out the album Finally Famous. That's his goal. That's what he wanted. I think it was J. Cole that I read about that went. He picked his college just based on the fact that it was in New York so he can meet Jay-Z. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with either of these things. I'm just saying that this is the untraditional path that these new school rappers have taken. Okay, and with that being said, they're not really gonna just do what they feel, they're going to do what is going to get them paid. Okay? And now, with that being said, I think it's important for us to know that a lot of the things that they're choosing to do to get themselves paid is bite. They're biting. And that is a huge no-no. I don't know why that particular offense hasn't transferred over into the new generation as an offense. I'm not really sure why it's acceptable to the new school audience for their rappers to be biting as opposed to just being inspired by, old school artists. I think that it's a shame, and I would hate to see hip hop to fully go into that direction. And so I feel like it's my personal duty as the hip-hop snob, the Alley Angel artist Afro pick, to tell you guys to stop the madness, new school audiences. Okay? Stop listening and stop patronizing these rappers that clearly sound and act exactly like Lil Wayne, that clearly sound and act exactly like Jay-Z. I think it was Nina Simone who said, I only listen to the masters. And she said, right after that, she said, I'll go to any church, but music is my God. But what really stuck out to me is when she said, I only listen to the masters. Because when you think about it, anything else is a waste of time. Why are you listening to somebody who sound like somebody when the person that they sound like exists? Why not just go straight to the horse's mouth and buy a Lil Wayne CD? And no, I'm not I'm not telling y'all to go out and buy Lil Wayne's music. I'm making a point. I'm saying, if you like Trey Songz, if you think that Trey Songz is the bomb and he is the best R&B singer that you've ever heard in your life, then I challenge you to go and get R. Kelly's last album, or his first album, or his second or third or fourth album, or any of his albums. I challenge you to go get any of Stevie Wonder's albums, any of his albums, okay? Because what you're going to get is an unfiltered, unwatered down version of what Trey Songz is trying to be, okay? That's all I'm saying, and that's no disrespect to Trey Songz, but I think, you know what, I take that back about Trey Songz, because I actually think that he does a good job at being inspired by these people as opposed to imitating them. So that was a bad example. Okay, let me think of a better example. Okay, anybody in Young Money Clique other than Lil Wayne. Okay, they all sound like Lil Wayne. I even saw Drake doing the whole Lil Wayne, like his whole style, the way all this shit, all that. Lil Wayne, that came from Lil Wayne. The hand shit, all that whole swag is like Lil Wayne swag. And it's okay to sound like him and be inspired by him, but you can't copy him. I think that that's a different, kind of a thing. Let me give you another example so I won't, okay, this is current. There's a rapper who's also an athlete named Adrian Brody, okay? Listen to any of his songs. It's really obvious that he's desperately, unfortunately, trying to sound like Lil Wayne, I mean, and I'm not sure why Lil Wayne is the most copied rapper of the day. I mean, it could be because he has the most money, more money than a lot of rappers. And, like we talked about at the beginning, rappers are more concerned with making money. So they're going to look at the guy that made the most money as the role model as to how to do this, And so, unfortunately, people like Nas is probably still not at the $100 million mark yet, And so, unfortunately, he's not going to have a lot of these new school rappers trying to imitate him or even trying to be inspired by him. And I think that that's a shame because he's my favorite rapper and he's obviously the best lyricist of the past 10 or 15 years, So, big ups to Busta. He's one of the best as well. Big ups to, fucking Buckshot Shorty. Google him. But there's a lot of old school rappers that are still, making music today that are ill, that are showing the new school how it's done, and I really appreciate that. I even heard a song that J. Cole did with Nas and about Nas called Let Nas Down. I thought that was real cool. I was a little bit jealous actually, because that would have been something cool that I would have wanted to do when I was J. Cole's age. So I was a little jealous when I saw you doing that, J. Cole, but you still whack, so it didn't do you no good. I know that sounded like I was hating, but I wasn't. It's the truth. You suck. But you won't in like 10 more years. You'll be back. You'll get a lot better. Look at Lil Wayne. Did Lil Wayne not suck when the fuck he came out? Yes, he did. That dude sucked. That and all that shit. That no, they sucked. They sucked. That dude got tight with the fireman. He got tight like 6-7 years ago, but he was whack in the 90s. Yeah, so when they was wearing those solid color Walmart sweatsuits, them dudes was whack. The production was hot. Manny Fresh was always tight on the production, but those lyrics always sucked. I remember that song, Oh Keisha. Who remember Oh Keisha? Was that not the most disgusting, wackest song ever invented in life? That was horrible. There's a way to talk about disgusting stuff without being completely horrible and whack and disgusting. Ask Too Short. He does it very well. So, I guess that was it. I just really want people to understand that there is a difference between imitating someone and biting someone's style. And biting is never, ever cool. I don't care what generation you from. I don't care, if you new school and y'all don't really care about that. Y'all just want to have fun and cat daddy and all that crazy stuff, whatever. Everybody did that when they was a teenager. We all had our parents looking at us like, what in the world are you doing and what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, we all had that going on. But, y'all kids these days take it a little bit far. It's like y'all, it's cool to do the dances and wear the crazy clothes and the jewelry and all that stuff. But, man, you can't just be biting nobody's style. That's not cool. I don't care if you from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, if you was born in the 2000s, whenever you was born, however old you are, it's not cool to copy somebody else's style. You have to be yourself, man. You have to do your own thing. You have to. Stop patronizing these people that y'all know are blatantly biting other people's styles, because that's not cool. And this video is getting too long, so I'm gone. Peace.